Hey Michelle, how you doing? Okay, so there's a few different ways that you could actually resize an image in Photoshop, but I'm going to try to think through this for you to go about it the easiest way. So I already opened up this image. Obviously, if you don't have your image open, you go to File, Open, find it on your desktop. All right, so the first thing you want to ultimately do is check the image size that it currently is. So the way you do that, you go up here and you go up to Image, up at the menu, and then you go to Image Size. Okay, and just so you know, by default, sometimes it doesn't show it as pixels. So you might have to toggle through this little arrow, drop down arrow. It might show it as inches, or it might show it as percent. So we're dealing with pixels at all times because we're on web. You also want to make sure it's at 72 dpi. Sometimes print images, high res, are 300. That's something good to know too. If you're going to print something, you want to get an image from the jump to be 300 dpi. You can't size it up to 300 because then it'll just fake it and get grainy and pixelated. But most likely, if it's off the web or if you bought it from Shutterstock or somewhere else, even most cameras started at 72. That's basically dots per inch. It's how many square pixels are in 1 square inch. So make sure it's on 72. It should be. I apologize for the noise. I'm having work done here. So you want to be on pixels. So you can see this image right here is 1000 by 1063. All right. So this is important. This little chain here, this link, this is going to make it scale proportionally. So let's just say you want this to be half the size, 500 by whatever this is going to end up being. So if you move this to 500, you can see by default this went to 532 because they're linked. Okay, now if I undo that, I just hit Command Z for undo. If you unlink this, let's just say the width becomes 500, you can see that it gets distorted and the height remains the same. You could still link it after doing that, and then So that's how you resize proportionally. So let's go ahead and do that one first. So let's just say we want this at 500 wide, and then whatever the height ends up scaling proportionally, and then you can see it resizes. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. You can go to File, you can go to Edit and Undo, or you can do Command Z. All right. So now let's go back to image size. Now let's just say there's a few ways you could do this. You could work within this canvas or image to resize it to a different size, but I think what's going to be easiest for you, let's just say you need this at 500 by 500, or let's just say you need it at 500 by 400. I would go up here and just go to File, New, all right, and then in here, again, make sure it's on pixels. Type in the size it needs to be. We're going to make a new canvas, so let's do 500 by 400. Also very important, you want RGB, not CMYK, or grayscale, obviously. RGB is red, green, blue. CMYK is for print. That stands for cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. So you don't want it. Web is always RGB, so make sure it's there. It should be automatically, okay? So now we have a new canvas, so we're going to create 500 by 400. Let's hit OK. You're going to get a white background, okay? So now I have two images open, okay? So if you go to Window, well, actually I have this feature on. I could show you that too, called Screen Mode. You can go to Standard Mode like this, but I like this mode to make everything else gray. You go to Full Size Mode. You don't have to do that. But just to show both up at once, I'm going to go ahead and do something for you. I'm going to pull the two tabs apart, so you can do that. Now you have your blank canvas and your white canvas. So what you want to do to get this over to the new size, you want to go to Edit, and you want to go to Select All, or actually you could use this tool here. This is if you hit Command A, or see, I'm all about key commands, but I think if you want to do it through up here, you can go to Edit and select, or I'm sorry, Select and then Select All. Yeah, see, it always shows the key command. See, it says Command A. So I'm going to go ahead and do it through the menu bar. So Select All, and then you see you get the marching ants around the image. Then you go to Copy, or Command C, but you can do Edit and then Copy. And now we're going to paste it. So now you can see that on this new image size at 500 by 400, the image is getting cropped. So now we want to scale it to make sure we crop in strategically so we get the nicest area of the image, because it's not always going to be proportionate scale down. So make sure you click on the Move tool, and then you could either hit Command T, which is for transform. I don't even know what the menu thing is, but I would just hit Command T on a Mac. Or let's see, you could do image, what is it, transform, Yeah, I would just hit Command T, and then you see, this is cool because now it's showing where the image is. Um, that's why you want to always pull it out a little bit so you get the gray. Like let's just go back to this one. If you're in this mode, you don't see where the image is, beyond the canvas. So if you hit Command T, you can see where you get these boxes. Now this is important. You want to hold down Shift. If you don't hold down Shift, it's going to distort like this. Let me undo that. If you hold down Shift, first hit Shift, and then you scale, it locks. The size is locked so it won't distort. Okay? So while holding down Shift, and after you hit Command T to transform, you can then scale it in. Let's pull it all the way to the edge. Okay? Then I'm going to hit Return. Okay? After you hit Return, it releases. And now you can move the image to try to get it, the best part of it, within that new canvas. Okay? So I think we could probably, actually where it ended up being by default is nice because that arrow, the hand on the clock points there. All right, so that's it. Now, I mean, sometimes it might be a more dramatic resize. Like here, let's do, I'm gonna go back to this image, copy. Let's just say it's like 500. I'm gonna hit Command New, Command N or File New. Let's just say it needs to be 500 by 200, like for more of like a header image or something, right? Or you're mostly doing 600 because you're doing the emails. So now I'm gonna go back here, select all. You could do that by going select all. Then you go to Edit Copy or Command C, and then we're going to paste it onto this size. Now, obviously, now we have more thinking through about how we're going to crop in. So now, again, I'm going to hit Command T to get my scaling, and now I'm going to hold down Shift and scale it up. Okay, hit Return, and now we have to think about where we want to crop in. So maybe somewhere like that is nice, or that. And if you hold down Shift while you're moving it, you're also going to keep it locked to this edge. If you let go of Shift, it's going to move all around. You might get some of the white. And that's pretty much it. Okay? So if you want to print something high res, you want to put it at 300 DPI and make it CMYK. But we're working with web, so it's 72 DPI RGB. And now, to save out, you want to go to Save for Web. Okay? So if you go to Export, or I'm sorry, if you go to Save As, that's going to give you a generic option. But if you hold down, see the menu changed. But if you want to save for web, okay, there's a key command. I'm not sure why it's not showing it anymore up here. It should. But saving for web, you're going to hold down Command Shift. Command Control. Bear with me here. I'm doing this all by hand memory. Command Control S. Let me see, hold on. Okay, so here it is. It's Command Option S. Command Option Shift S is how to save for web. So let me cancel that. Command Option Shift S. And this is how you save for web. I'm trying to find, there should be an option here. Let me just make sure it's not there so you don't have to memorize the key command. It used to be under File here, but let me just look again for you. Okay, let's see if there's a save for web. Is it right in front of my face and I'm not seeing it? Maybe it's under export now. Oh, there it is. Okay, so under File, this is going to be easier, so you don't have to memorize the key command. Go to Export, and then Save for Web. Okay, so this is the beauty of it. Let's just say you want a JPEG. If it's not transparent, you want to keep it as JPEG always. Okay. Now, if you're on this tab here, Optimize. You could play with okay, so right here it's at highest quality maximum, and you can see with the file size here. The file size is down here. So now if I go to low, you can see the image got a little pixelated in that, but it's only 12K. So you want to go as low as you can, but keep an eye on the image and see when it gets pixelated. I tend to like high. It's at 60% quality. I never see any change in the image, and now look how much smaller it is for load time. It's 28K. Whereas if I go back to maximum, it's going to be 78K. That's a big difference in load time. So when you save for web, you can do all that, but you want to make sure you're on this optimize tab. If you're on original, it's not going to show how it gets pixelated. I mean, here, if I zoom in to 600%, you'll see a difference. Or that's too much. Let's go to 400. And if I go to low, watch how pixelated it gets. You see that? You see all that graininess that appeared? And it'll be even more prominent with if you were to do GIF, let's say, right? And then you go to 16 colors, or if you only use 4 colors, you can see how pixelated it gets. That's horrible. So again, stick with JPEG. If you're not ever sure, just do JPEG high. Okay. You can see, like, if you go to high to maximum, there's really no difference in image quality. I don't see any. So, but the file size is a lot lower. So then you just save it out, name it, and that's pretty much it. That's resizing in a nutshell. So again, the best way to do it is create a new canvas with the size and then copy it out. So I'll just do that one more time, okay? Let's go to File, New. You type in the size you want it. Let's try 800 by 300 this time. Okay? So now we have a new canvas here. I'll pull this out at 800 by 300. And we want to copy this into it. So you go to File, or I'm sorry, Edit, where's Copy? I'm sorry, hold on, where's Copy? Under File, Copy, or you can do Command C, and then Command P is paste, but you could just do File, Paste, or Command V is paste, I'm sorry. Okay, so then we're going to Command T for transform, and then hold down Shift, and then size it. Again, if you wanted to distort it, you just let go of Shift, and then you could do that, but then it's going to get distorted. So if you keep the Shift button held down while you transform, then you're good. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm going to save this out, put it on YouTube for you, and then let's jump on the phone and we can talk through it as well. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.